Okay, so I am looking at the May 2019 Danish FP9 Folkeskolens Afgangsprøve, the 3-hour paper. So that's the paper with the longer questions where you are allowed to refer to notes and things and use a calculator. So exercise 1 is called camping, and it's got 5 parts. So I've got my white paper that I'm going to do my kind of neat final answers on, and my yellow paper for my rough work. So on my white paper, a bit annoying if that's going to pop up every time, but let's just go with it. I'll start by drawing a nice margin. Hopefully the margin would already be marked there for you, but I guess not necessarily. So I'll just make that a bit smaller, and then nice margin down there. That's not quite how I want it, so I'll delete that. Boom. Don't want a dotted line, I want a thicker line than that, I think. Let's try that. Yeah, that'll do for a margin. I'll just move that where I want it. Okay, and then at the top, so I'll go into handwriting mode, and then I'll just label it as question 1, and it's called camping. So again, nice and neat. Layout is important on this. You do get judged not just on the correctness of the answers, but the overall order of stuff can influence the marking. Okay, so it's going to have 5 parts, and the first part 1.1, and it says, well, let's just read the question first of all. This is annoying that this pops up every time. Okay, so the whole thing's worth 13 marks out of the whole total. It says 15-year-old Anna and 14-year-old August are planning a camping trip together with their mother and father. The table below shows the prices for overnight stays at Sollust Camping. Pladsgebühr, like just a charge for the space, 58 kroner for each night, pris per overnatning, price per overnight stay. So just for having the space, irrespective of the number of people, 58 kroner. Adult, 82 kroner. Child, 0 to 16, 43 kroner. So there's kind of 3 charges going on, depending on adults, children, or just a basic charge for the camping place. The family has to pay both a Pladsgebühr, the charge for the space, and an amount per person. So you have to show with a calculation that it costs 308 kroner for Anna, August and their parents to stay overnight for 1 night at Camping Sollust. So quite helpful that they've given you the answer, so you know what you're aiming for. So the family consists of 2 children and their mother and their father and the camping place. So I'm just going to go to my yellow paper and do the rough calculation. So the general charge, Gebühr, is let me just go back to the, I wish I could stop that popping up, is 58. So they have to pay 58. 58, and then the adults, Voxner, 2 times, how much is it? 2 times 82. 2 times 82, which is 164. And then the kids, that's 2 times 43. 2 times 43, which is going to be 86. So that's the total charge if I add those up. So 10, 18, 8 carry 1, 6, 8, 14, 19, plus the 1 is 20, 0 carry 2, 1 plus 2 is 3. So we've got the answer of 308. And for putting it on the final white paper, what we're really aiming to do is have a nice, neat kind of one-line calculation that will summarize the whole thing in a simple expression. So where did I get 308 from? I got it from 58. Just try and make my pen come up again there. I got my 308 from 58 plus 164 plus 86. Where did I get my 58 from? Well, that was just in the question. Where did I get my 164 from? Well, that was 58 plus 2 times 82 made the 164. And where did I get the 86 from? I got the 86 from 2 times 43. So I've worked the whole thing back into a single expression that gives me the answer of 308, and then all the bits of that expression are clearly visible in the original information given in the question. The 58 was in the question. The 2 times 82 were in the question, 2 adults and the adult price. The 2 times 43 were in the question, 2 children and the children's price, and the answer. So what you want to try and aim and do on your final neat white paper is something like this. So 1.1 is the question number. You want some kind of word that kind of summarizes what the answer is going to be about. So for example, well, the answer is about what it costs. So the word that describes that could be price. And then a colon. Then you want the calculation. So 58 plus 2 times 82 plus 2 times 43. So back to my white paper. This is going to be annoying with this popping up all the time. And get rid of that. Press on the pen. So it was 58 plus 2 times, what was it? 82 plus 2 times 43. Kind of the whole thing enclosed in brackets. Krona equals 308 krona. So you're trying to kind of get that format. So question number neatly, word describing what the answer is going to be relating to. You're trying to get the calculation in a single expression, and then an equal sign, and then the answer. And then furthermore, you want to try and get everything neatly lined down the page. So all these colons you want to line down the page, all these calculations you want to align down the page, all these equal signs you want to align down the page, and then all the numbers you want to align at the decimal. So you might want to do the whole thing on the yellow paper first before setting it out on the white paper. Now, because I'm not on real paper, but I'm on a tablet, I can just kind of squidge this about a bit and mess about with the spacing. Of course, you don't have this luxury when you're just working on a bit of paper. So just to give myself as much room as possible, squash that up a little bit, and in my answers I probably want to have some space for a couple of decimals that might appear in subsequent answers, so I'll just put that guy over there. I'll leave a couple of columns for decimals, and then that 308 there, I'll try to get that nicely in the boxes. So so a couple of spaces for decimals and 308 like that. I'll move that equals sign over just to give me some space for any bigger answers. And then I want to neatly underline my answer as well. So that like that, and neatly underlined answer. In fact, sometimes I think they like you to. Some people like you to double underline it. So I'm just going to try and boom, and I'll copy, and I'll copy that and paste it. Double underline, and there's my first answer. So subsequent answers, I'm going to try and line everything up, all these question numbers, the wordings, colons, start of the calculations, equal signs, numbers lined up at the decimal, units lined up there, and everything double underlined. And I just need to get rid of that and redo it because I've just messed that up, haven't I? Is that still in my clipboard to paste? I wonder. Possibly not. Oh dear, here we go again. Okay, so one of those, nicely there. Copy and paste another one. There we go. Okay, so you won't be messing about on an iPad trying to do this. You'll just be doing it on paper, of course. Okay. So I'm just going to clear my yellow paper. Of course, you'll just have another sheet of yellow paper to just get ready for the next answer. Okay, the next answer. Hvor mange penge? How much money does it cost for Anna, August, and their parents to stay overnight for 12 nights at Camping Sollust? Okay, so all of these prices were per night, so it's just going to be the cost for one night times 12. So it's just going to be 308 times 12. So all of the information in that is already in the question. It's the 308 and the 12. So all I've got to do is set out 308 times 12. Okay, so I'll go straight to my white paper. I don't need to do much thinking about that, and I'll go question 1.2. Get my pen on, give myself plenty of space. So I'll go, I mean, I can just go pris again. And that's, gosh, what did I say it was? 12 times 308. So 12 times 308. I'm going to stick that in brackets, even though strictly speaking it isn't mathematically necessary for that to be in brackets. It's just a question of the layout and the clarity that they like to have for these exams. Equals, lined up with the equals that I had before. And then what's 12 times 308? Let's get onto my calculator. So 12 times 308 is 3696. Okay, so 3696, 3696, and then don't forget the units. That's krona again. So I'm trying to line it down the page so all of the units, tens, hundreds and thousands line up. I wonder why that's gone a bit weird there. Bit weird that that line's left over there. Never mind. Yeah. So 3696 krona. I'm going to underline it again. There. Copy that. Paste another one. And nice and neat for the second answer. Okay, question part 3. Write an expression Anna and August can use to calculate what it costs for them and their parents to stay N nights at Sollust camping. Okay, so 1 night cost 308, 12 nights cost 12 times 308, so it's just 308 times the number of nights which we're calling N. So again, I don't really need to go to my yellow paper to think of that. I can go straight in with 1.3. Get the pen on again. 1.3. So they want an expression, an Udtryk. And then I guess I can go, well, where do I want to put it? I guess I'll put it over here on the right where all the answers are. So it's, actually, let's just go back to the question. Yeah, so it's 308 times the number of nights. I'm just thinking about the best. I think it's sufficient just to put 308 N there over that. Let's just get the hundreds, tens and units lined up. 308 times N. I was a little bit wary of where to put that and whether to put it sort of in this space here, but I'm going to stick with kind of final answers over on the right. It's not an equation, so I'm not sticking an equals sign down there. You know, I was thinking of writing something like, in fact, maybe I will write something like price equals 308 times N. Yeah, I'm a little bit more kind of satisfied with the way I've laid that out. Okay, so 308 times N was that one. And then let's go on to question 4. How much money do Anna, August and their parents pay more for an overnight stay at Camping Halblick than at Camping Sollust? Oh, there's some other information there that I haven't read. So let's just read the whole thing. So it says, August finds another camping campsite, Camping Halblick, where you have to pay 86 krona per person for overnight stay. On the other hand, you don't have to pay a plaskebor, so you don't pay for the basic stay, you just pay per person. How much money would Anna, August and their parents pay more for an overnight stay at Camping Haublik than at Camping Sollust. So we've already established that it's costing them 308 per night at the present one. What would it cost for all of them at the other place? So at the other place it's 86 times 4 kroner, which is, can I do that in my head, 172, 344. So that would cost them 344, but at the place they're staying, it's only costing them 308. So the answer to the question is it would cost them 344 minus 308 is 36. It would cost them 36 more. So how did I get 36? I got it from 344 minus 308. How did I get 308? It was in the question. How did I get 344? It was 86 times 4. So 86 times 4 minus 308 was how I got the final answer of 36. So something like that is the answer that I want to write on my final neat white paper. So it's got a calculation that involves all of the numbers that were in the original question, so you can see where everything came from, and it's got the answer. So over to my white paper. So I'm going to go 1.4. So I'm going to go 4 scale. That's difference. Just going to squudge that up a bit so that my colons are nicely lined up. So the difference is, so back to refer to my yellow paper, 86 times 4 minus 308. So 86 times 4 minus 308. I'm going to stick the whole thing in brackets, even though those brackets aren't strictly mathematically necessary. Kroner is equal to, and then the difference was, back to my yellow paper, 36 kroner. So I'm going to line up the 36 so all the previous tens and units line up down the page. Kroner, I'm going to underline it there and copy, and oh, what on earth happened there? Take that line, copy it and paste it, and another one there. There we go. Okay, part 5 of the question. It says, August reads that they can get a discount at Camping Haublik if they buy a family card for 100 kroner. With a family card, the price per overnight stay is 325 kroner for the whole family. However, they get 2% in discount if they stay overnight for 2 nights, 3% in discount if they stay overnight for 3 nights, 4% discount for 4 nights, and so on. They can get up to 30% in discount, because obviously you'd reach a point where they'd be there for 100 nights, and then they could just live there forever for nothing, because they'd be getting a 100% discount. So obviously that's got to be capped. But it says, investigate how many nights the family has to stay overnight in order for it to be cheaper for them to stay overnight at Camping Haublik than at Camping Sollust when they buy a family card. You must justify your answer. Okay, so I'm just going to go over to my yellow paper here and just start doing some rough calculations. So I'm going to do 2 columns here. So what, oh gosh, what were they called? Haarblick and Sollust. Okay, so Haarblick and Sollust, and Knights. So I'm going to split this into columns and make a table of different numbers of knights and the cost, and see how that goes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I hope I won't have to go further than 9, but we'll see how it goes. So 1 knight at Haarblick costs, let's just go back to the paper. So Haarblick, they're buying a discount card for 100, and then it's costing 325 a night. So that's straightforward. The cost is for 1 night, the 100 plus 325, they're going to be paying 425. If they stay 2 nights, they're still going to pay the 100. Let's just make this a bit bigger. They're going to get a 2% discount, so they're only going to pay 98%, 98/100ths of 2 times 325. So 2 nights, 325 kroner a night, but only paying 98% because of the discount, and then plus 100 for the card. So I'm just going to go on my calculator and figure out what that is. In fact, I've already been doing something along those lines, so let's just delete that. 2 nights. Okay, so it comes to 737. 737. 3 nights, well, that would cost 100 plus for the card, plus they'd only pay 97% because they'd get a 3% discount. However, they'd be paying for 3 nights, so times 3, and then times 325 per night. So I'm just going to flip back to my calculator and change the 98 to a 97% that they'll pay, and change the 2 nights to 3 nights, and that comes to 1045.75. 1045.75. 4 nights, 100 for the card, then they're only going to pay 96% because they get 4% discount, and then times 4 nights times 325 a night. Let's see what that would cost. So I'll just go straight over to my calculator and change the 97 to a 96%, and then change the 3 nights to 4 nights, and that would cost them 1348. 1348. 5 nights, they're going to pay 100 for the card, plus they're going to pay 95% because of the 5% discount, times 5 because they're going to pay for 5 nights, times 325, and that comes to, well, let's just go back to the calculator and change the 96 to a 95, and change the 4 nights to 5 nights, and that comes to 1643.75. 1643.75. Let's just do 6 nights, 100, plus they're only going to pay 94%. They're going to pay for 6 nights at 325 a night. So over to the calculator, going to change the 95 for 94. I'm going to change the 5 nights to 6 nights, and that comes to 1933. Okay, let's start having a look at how much it's going to cost at the other place, Sollust. So that's a bit more straightforward in the calculation because it's just 308 per night. So one night is going to cost 308. That should have been an equal sign there. 2 nights is going to cost 2 times 308, which is going to be 616. So it's still cheaper at Sollust. 3 nights is going to cost 3 times 308, which is 924. Still cheaper. 4 nights is going to cost 4 times 308, which is 1,232. Still cheaper. 5 nights is going to cost 5 times 308, which is 1,540. Still cheaper, but the amounts are closing in on each other. 6 nights is going to cost 6 times 308, which is 1,848. Still cheaper, so we're going to have to look a little bit further. 7 nights is going to cost the 100 for the thing. It's going to cost 93% because of the 7% discount. Times 7 nights times 325, which is going to cost, let's just get over to the calculator and check that. So I'm going to change the 94 for a 93. I'm going to change the 6 for a 7. 2215.75. 2215.75. Whereas at Sollust it's going to cost 7 times 308, which is 2156. So still cheaper at Sollust. 8 nights, 100 plus 92% of 8 times 325. Over to the calculator. So I'll change the 93% discount to a 92% discount. I'll change the 7 nights to 8 nights, and that's costing 2492. 2492. Whereas 8 nights at 308 is costing 2464. So still marginally cheaper, but we're closing in now. Hopefully 9 nights will be the one that makes the difference, but let's have a look. So 100 for the card plus 91% discount, 91 hundredths, times 9 nights times 325, and that comes to so change 91% discount, 9 nights, 2761.75. 2761, what did I say, 75? 75. Whereas 9 times 308 is, I can do that in my head, 2772. It costs more. So it's 9 nights where it starts to get cheaper. So let's start setting that out on my white paper. Let's just have a look at what the question demands. So it says, investigate how many nights the family needs to overnight for it to be cheaper at Camping Haublik. Okay, so I am going to try and set this out and stick to the kind of format and everything lined up. So I will go 1.5. I'll put a heading, a sort of subheading here. Undersökelse, investigation. I'm gonna. I'm really pushing it to try and squash that up, aren't I? No, maybe that's pushing it a bit. It's kind of a subheading anyway, so of a kind of bigger thing. So I'll allow myself to do that. In fact, I'll just get rid of the colon there so that I'm not going to have an issue of colons not lining up. I'm fully aware I'm being a little bit obsessive about this, but here we go. Okay, so I am going to write 8 nights at what was it, Halblick. I think I'll underline again. And then I'll just try and stick to my... Actually, no, I've had a better idea. I'll put a heading that says Halblick. I'll underline it. And then I'm going to go back to my format that I had before. So I'm going to have 8 nights and then a colon, and then I'll squodge that up so that the colon lines up. And then the cost for 8 nights at Halblick was, back to my yellow paper, yeah, it was that expression there, wasn't it? So 100 plus 92% of 8 times 325. So 100 plus 92% of 8 nights times 325 krona. Gonna make a nice fraction out of that with a nice neat line. And I'm going to put a nice neat bracket around the whole thing. Krona equals, and that came to 2492. This thing annoying. 2492 krona. I guess I'll double underline it because it's sort of a final answer to a bit. Copy, paste. And then I'm going to do a similar sort of calculation for 9 nights. Well, I've already done the calculation, so I'm just kind of setting it out. So 9 nights are going to cost, let me just take that, 9 nights and squadge it up, and I guess it'll look just about right on that line. So the 9 nights were costing 100 for the card plus, and then it was 91% because of the discount, times 9 nights times 325, close brackets, krona, and put the nice neat line in for the fraction. And see how I've kind of tried to line all these up. Equals, and that came to 276175. $276175 krona. Underline. copy, paste that. And then I'll do a similar investigation for the other place. What was it called? Sollust. Sollust. So 8 nights there. Cost. So it was just number of nights times 308. Eight times 308 krona, which comes to 2764. 2764 krona. Whereas 9 nights come to 9 times 308 krona, which is I've gone wrong, haven't I? 8 times 308 is not 2764. It's 2464. Boom. 2464. And then 9 times 308 is 2772 krona. So I'll just underline those. And paste another one to do a double underline, and there as well. Bit fiddly with this iPad. Not that. Delete that. Copy. Won't let me paste. Never mind, I'll just do another one. There we are. Okay, but have we answered the question? So it says, investigate how many nights the family has to stay overnight in order for it to be cheaper at Camping Haubluk than at Camping Sollust when they buy a family ticket. You have to justify your answer. Well, I haven't actually kind of finally answered the question that it's cheaper after 9 nights, so I should finish with that. D Billier after ni, or not after, but from fra den 9. That it's cheaper from the 9th night. So I guess I'll double underline that, because that's a final answer too. And that's that question answered. So I'm aware it's taken me a ton of time to do that. You know, for something that is only, how many marks? 13 marks out of the whole thing. 13 out of, I guess it's out of 100. So I've certainly taken more than 13% of the time going through 13% of the paper. But I've been doing a lot of explaining, and I've been super obsessing about demonstrating the lineup and the layout. So important things about the layout. So this format of kind of a description, a calculation in a single expression in a single line is important. Equals the answer, colons lined up down the page, equal signs lined up down the page, answers lined up at the decimal point, units lined up, double underline for the answers, neat numbering down the side, margin, all an important part of responding to this. So I'm finally just about happy with that. So there we go. That's taken us ages.